You've got to be able to see. Can you see what I'm doing here?
Hi. Vix here is making a fire in the log burner. It's quite straightforward. The first thing you need is some copies of a newspaper. Now, we tend to find that the cheaper and more unpleasant newspapers burn quite well, so the only occasion on which I will ever purchase the Sun or the Daily Star is for use in the log burner. So what you do is you carefully, yeah, exactly, that's it. Now you roll them into a roll, and you then tie them in a knot, thus. So what you get, exactly, you get a kind of looseness of the paper, but you also have the tightness too, and that gives it a little more bulk and makes it burn a little more slowly. Because obviously, just paper on its own will just flare up. So you want it to take a little longer, so that will enable the twigs to catch fire. So I'm just going to zoom in on how many you actually need in here. Basically, you need to cover the layer of the grate with these knotted pieces of newspaper. And you want to use the Daily Telegraph or the Independent, you can, but we prefer Star, Sun, etc. Sunday Sport, maybe. Right, so we can put that aside for next time. Now, the next ingredient here is sticks. They may be of different kinds. You can buy them from shops such as Homebase or B&Q, or you can get them from a local hardware store. They need to be light and very dry. This is important. They really have to be dry. You put a layer of these sticks on top of the paper. Okay, and we can put that aside, right. And finally, of course, most important ingredient here, coal. Now, it is generally advised to use smokeless coal in log burners. Smokeless coal, which looks like this. Smokeless coal is better because even if you are in a sort of smoke-free area of the country, nonetheless, smokeless coal is better because it does not damage the lining. And it's very important to use smokeless coal. You can ours from the local hardware store retailing at $11.95 for a large bag, which compares favourably with the prices from places such as the aforementioned Homebase and so forth. So anyway, we just put a single layer, not too much coal on there because it's got to catch fire, and the coal takes a while to catch. So okay, what do we do now, Vix?
I light it.
She lights it, exactly. So what?
Pause it.
So, we light it. Now,
I've got to clean the glass first.
Okay. Another thing that is advisable, it might sound sort of pernickety and a bit OCD, but is to clean the glass.
Because it does get smoky overnight.
It can get very smoky, particularly overnight if the fire's been allowed to die down and the residual kind of dust and smoke builds up and forms a kind of murky layer on the glass. Now,
overnight. Only happens overnight.
Only happens overnight, yeah. This may seem OCD, but the reason is, or at least one reason is, apart from the general sort of appearance of the thing, is that you can actually see what's going on in there. And that's really important. It may seem, if you allow it to become fogged up, you may think, oh, the fire's not going very well. But in fact, it's going pretty well. So,
vents
now,
set accordingly?
We need to set the vents accordingly. Now, if you're burning coal, as distinct from wood, the vents need to be set where? At the extreme right. Both of them open. The upper one open, the secondary and the primary also there, just for the lighting process. Now, long-handled matches are obviously desirable for obvious logistical reasons. So, as with any kind of fire, you're just lighting the paper at the bottom, and that catches instantaneously, and hopefully will burn through and ignite the sticks. And you then shut the front, and since both vents are open, as long as there is any kind of a breeze, and this morning actually we got quite a windy day out there, southerly, southeasterly, 4 to 5, it should catch quite rapidly and burn thus. So obviously you need to leave it like this until really all the elements of the fire have caught. So as you can see at this stage, the paper obviously is caught, the sticks are beginning to burn. And try not to interfere with it too much. There can be a great temptation to think, oh, that corner isn't burning. This is burning actually quite evenly. Often you will find that just one side really catches, the other doesn't really seem to. But don't worry about that. Just let it be, and eventually all the elements will have reached a combustible level and will be burning nicely. As you see, this is taking a few moments here, taking a few minutes to really get going. As you see, Vix is here replacing two of the coals which had fallen out. If you can avoid the sides and the rear of the stove, that's desirable. Ideally, the fire should be in the center, and not too much of it so building up against the sides, because this can actually damage the fire bricks. As you see, as mentioned, we have a pretty good wind going on outside, and this is drawing the flames and the resulting smoke up the chimney pretty well. Right, now what's Vix doing here? She is changing the position of one of the, what are they called again? One of the vents. She's changed the position of one of the vents. Ideally, when you're burning coal, the principle is when you're burning coal, the secondary vent, which is the upper one here, it may look slightly different depending on the model of log burner you possess. Ideally, that should always be closed, and you regulate the flow of heat with the lower or primary vent down here. If you're principally burning wood, it's reversed, and you control the flow with the secondary or upper vent and keep the lower one closed. So here we're burning coal, we're burning coal obviously, and so we're in the situation of slowly progressing to close the upper vent. Now I think we can say here the fire is actually set now. You won't always have 100% success. You have to realize that not all attempts to light the fire will actually work, but with practice you'll become better at it. So we think this is the end of the process? It is. So there you have a perfectly functioning, glowing, and visually very attractive log burner operation, and that will make your whole house really kind of toasty. Okay, and that's about it. Thanks very much to Vix, our demonstrator, and next week we'll be looking at how to build your own snowboarding cross-country track in your own back garden with nothing more than cast-off rolls of linoleum. Till then, thanks a lot and goodbye. Hope you found this useful.